every once in a while I like to go back and rewatch shows that I liked growing up, and somebody on one of my older videos asked if I'd watched this Danny Phantom episode, The Ultimate Enemy. That was actually my favorite episode of the show, so I decided, you know what, I got nothing to do today, I'm not planning on doing anything today, I'm gonna rewatch this. And so I did. It's still a lot of fun. It is still very engaging. And for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, then you know the show. But essentially, a kid with ghost powers deals with puberty and ghosts. It's Peter Parker, it's Spider-Man, but with ghosts. Anyway, but the plot of this particular episode was Danny is going to become an evil overlord capable of endless destruction. So a time-based anti-hero, Clockwork, has to stop that and have Danny learn his lesson for don't cheat on a test, so that none of this sequence of events gets triggered. Yeah, you can interpret the moral as that don't cheat on tests or you'll become an evil overlord. Love that chain of events. That's actually really funny when I think about it, but it's appropriate for the demographic. Anyways. But it's still an action-packed show. I think, being an adult, I am past some of the high school stuff. I am past some of these lessons, like, oh, don't cheat on tests, honesty's the best policy. So they're pretty standard kid show stuff, but, you know, they're important, and it's always going to be important for someone to see that. So, not that it's not bad by any means. If you're an adult just getting into the show for the first time, I can imagine it'd be harder to get into. Totally understandable. I think some of the nostalgia goggles are there for me, but I really like the family. The jokes they have voice actors who have very good comedic timing, and I especially like God, I should have looked this up beforehand, but the voice actor behind Danny's dad, Jack. And so there's one particular joke I still find really funny. He's looking at the standardized test, and he says, it's called the cat test. He says, huh, the cat test? Ha! I failed that, and I didn't turn out to be a cat. Appropriate. I love that. It's my kind of stupid. Usually a lot of puns too in this show, which again I like puns, well, good puns. The overall show it's kind of cheesy, but in a way, I kind of like that cheesy, but with some of the spooky stuff. I like the cheesy horror. I don't like straight up horror, but I kind of like that a campy horror, like Scooby-Doo I was really into. Billy and Mandy I was really into, so because I think that there's a lot you can do with it. I think ghosts are fascinating. I think you really could do the show in a more mature setting, playing on, the creators say that these are monsters from another dimension. I disagree with that 100%, but if you imagine a reboot that actually explored that a bit more, what would that be like? Going back to the actual episode, as an adult, while I do still find myself enjoying it, the action scenes are very quick and timely. The color work, good lord, the color work's great. The ideas for the ghosts and this world is a very creative, energized, spirited, pun, world. Because they have all these really cool ideas for the ghosts. I like how Clockwork, the time ghost, he shapeshifts. You see him as a baby, you see him as a young man, you see him as an old man. He'll switch and shapeshift in between in a given scene, which is a really cool idea. I love that portrayal. And though I do have some storytelling issues with it. Not to disrespect the creators, it is still my favorite episode of the series. I can still enjoy a rewatch. But as an inspiration for my own art, I do notice some flaws in the storytelling that you could do differently. Now, namely, particularly the climax of the story is a Deus Ex Machina. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way, if you're going to watch this episode, if you haven't seen it before, though, you're watching this video, I'm assuming you've seen it. Turn this off now if you're going to just go watch the episode first. But the ending is, essentially, all the main characters are going to die if a sequence of events happens that starts with Danny choosing to cheat on this test, which is, again, the one to the other. That's really, it kind of does. It's cheesy as it is. I can see a teenager thinking that way. I thought that way. It's like, oh my god, if I lose my pencil, then I won't get a good grade on this test. If I don't get a good grade to this test, I won't get into a good college. If I don't get into a good college, I won't get a good life. So it does play into the storytelling of the show a bit. It's very, kind of does get how kids can think and, you know, make things bigger than they are. But going back to the plot, I ramble a lot. Anyways, all the main characters are dying in an explosion. Danny cannot save them in time. The climax of that comes down to ultimately Clockwork, the time ghost. He saves them and gives Danny a do-over to do the right thing, which he does. My issue with that is, it really is a deus ex machina, and looking deeply into it, it does not affect my enjoyment of this episode at all, because I can still rewatch it and be like, yeah, that was awesome. But I never really felt like Danny really got it. I don't feel like he really learned from his mistakes. It does feel more like, don't do this, bad things happen, but you don't really see the value of doing an honest work. You know what I mean? Because everyone's telling him, oh, don't cheat, do the honest way. But it's other than saying, oh, hey, why the honest way is obviously the better way. But I never really felt like he gets it. Because everyone's telling him otherwise. He defeats the bad guy. He does the right thing. But it could have connected a little bit better to, him really, stupid thing fell. It could have connected better to him really feeling bad about cheating, and even then, I even understand his point, why he feels the need to cheat, because, you know, he's exhausted from fighting ghosts. That takes up all his time. Nobody knows that he does that. So you can kind of see him feeling, well, look, I haven't studied for the last few months. I've been fighting ghosts. Why shouldn't I just do this? So yeah, he actually kind of has a good point there. Ultimately, another thing is that, you know, the parents are ghost hunters, and yeah, they're always portrayed as very loving, especially his sister. I love the relationship with his sister, because you don't see a lot of sibling relationships that are very positive and very, very loving. I thought that was really sweet. But don't really know how to properly explain it, because I can kind of see where he comes from with wanting to cheat on this, but you don't really see. He could have gone a little deeper. He could have been like, okay, like cheating and plagiarism has very serious consequences, and not just because the honest way is the right thing to do. Just it does leave a mark on your record. I think maybe show the stakes of cheating a bit more. You know, maybe some of the real world consequences, and as opposed to, you're gonna destroy the world, which, although to be fair, that's more fun. Anyways, I'm thinking more as an adult, what would I like to see if I did this now? But that's a fun progression. But yeah, it's also, they do protect the lead a lot. Man, he has so much support, and he's kind of a jerk, but never to a point where he's really unlikable. Yeah. Also, anyone notice how fan servicey the show is looking back? I did notice that every girl wears a belly shirt for some weird reason. I could do a whole video talking about the fan service of this show. But yeah, there's a bit of an even split because the male characters are considered attractive. A lot of girls really like this show, so I guess it's like, okay, fair enough. It's even balanced. But yeah, that's a fun show. I like the fact that you get to have a lot of creativity there's a lot of creativity in what characters can do in the future. What chain of events can you retake? What's the moment that really changes your life? I find those moments very interesting. Like I said, for the ideas, it is still one of, if not the best episode of the series. And if you're even mildly curious about the show, I'd say check it out. Don't know if you got a substantial analysis from this, but it's thoroughly enjoyable.